Hey everyone, this is Rihanna from A Frugal Life, and today I'm going to tell you 20 reasons to live with less stuff. So minimalism and a frugal living don't always go together, and I am definitely not a minimalist just because I do collect a lot of things to have on hand, and I do stockpile things in my pantry and things like that. However, I have been watching a lot of minimalist videos, reading the books, and trying to purge a lot of my stuff that I don't need, and these are the reasons why I'm doing it, and maybe the reasons you might want to do it too. So a few years ago, we lived in a 3-bedroom house, and we had quite a bit of stuff for a small 3-bedroom house. It was pretty packed. We also had a storage unit that we kept collectibles and things that we wanted to keep on hand for when we owned our own home. So we did have quite a bit of stuff. But we wanted to move into an RV so we could save money to buy a home and so we could be closer to my work, because at the time I was commuting 3 hours each way a day to go to work. I know, crazy, right? 6 hours a day. So we did purge. That is, get rid of, not just store, purge 90% of our belongings. That included furniture, clothes, tchotchkes, hobbies, toys, kitchen stuff, everything. And at that time, we lived for 2 years in an RV with very little things. We just had very little things to live on, and we learned that we need to live on less. We didn't need as many things as we thought we needed. When we moved into this house, which is 2,100 square feet, so we went from about 300 to 400 square feet in an RV to 2,100 square feet, we had nothing. We had no furniture. We didn't have belongings anymore. We definitely had to build back up, and we built back up fast. I'm a super thrift store shopper. I'm a super deal shopper, and we got a ton of stuff free from my blogging and my videos that I do make. So we have a full house again. And as we get fuller and fuller with our house, I'm starting to realize that we need less and less things. So one of the reasons that I'm realizing this is that less things mean less stress. There are actually scientific studies that show that living with less material possessions causes you less stress in the long run. So one of the main reasons that less stuff causes less stress is that you have more space. You have more space to breathe. You're not climbing over things. You're not climbing around things. You're not constantly moving things and cleaning things. Just more space to spread out and be comfortable is a better situation all around, mentally and physically, for your well-being. So less stuff is less stress and more space. Third is that less stuff is more peaceful. If you have clean counters in your kitchen, if you have a clean, spotless bathroom without things cluttering up, it just feels more peaceful internally, and it gives you more peace of mind as you're moving through your space. So it's just a mental and emotional break from visual distractions to have less things. 4 is that it's obviously easier to find things. As I was cleaning out my sewing room and purging things the other day, I realized that I had 5 different pairs of sewing scissors. And it's not because I need 5 pairs of sewing scissors. It's because you have too many things, you can't find the things you already have. So you go out and buy new things. So every time I lost a pair of sewing scissors, I bought a new pair of sewing scissors. So as I'm purging things, I'm realizing I won't need as many things because I'll be able to find them. Everything will have its place. But nobody needs 5 pairs of sewing scissors, right? So less stuff makes it easier for you to find things because you're not digging through things to find the things that you need. That leads into 5, of course, which is increases productivity and efficiency. When you're cooking and you can find your things automatically, when you're sewing and you can find the things you need automatically, you're not wasting a whole bunch of time. It's very efficient and productive, and you can get more things done during the day. So that leads into less things means it's easier to clean, and it's easier to tidy, and it's easier to care for the things that you do have. It's easier to do laundry carefully and make sure your clothes last longer because you're not trying to get through huge loads of laundry. It's easier to take care of your things and dust them and clean them, make sure they're well repaired because you're not having a ton of different things that you have to take care of. And of course, eventually, if you have less things and you're keeping them all clean, then your home is ready for visitors at any time. And this is just happiness. So maybe not now when we have COVID, but way down the line when COVID is gone, you'll want to have people over to your house again, and having a nice, clean setting at all times with not a whole lot of clutter means that you feel comfortable inviting people over at last minute. So of course, not now during COVID, during a pandemic, but later on down the line, if you pick up those habits of having a clean, tidy, efficient, clutter-free house, then you have a nice house to have visitors at. Number 8, this one is not going to go for me because we purchased our house and hopefully we'll stay here a long time, if not forever, but you can live in a smaller space. So this goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning when we purged 90% of our belongings. We never would have been able to move into an RV. We never would have been able to fit the storage for all of our stuff if we didn't physically get rid of the things that we had. We got rid of every piece of furniture that we owned. We got rid of most of our kitchen appliances and most of our kitchen things. We got rid of all sorts of things. We kept a few sentimental things in a storage shed and everything else we purged. So if you want to do something like that in the future and have less rent or less of a mortgage, getting rid of things or having less things to start out with is easier to move into a smaller space. Number 9 is intentional living. So if you have a few good things that you take care of, that are always there for you to find, you are spending less money. And this is where frugality and minimalism come together. So I didn't need to spend the money on 5 different pairs of sewing scissors, right? I've done this with many different things over the years and over my lifetime. Saving money will just happen if you own less things because you won't be spending on things you don't need, you won't be spending on things you already have, and you'll have it in your mindset that you don't need to buy more things to clutter your space with. This leads straight into number 10, which is invest in quality over quantity. So invest in a few good pieces of clothes, invest in really nice books, invest in a few pieces of quality cookware. They'll last longer, they'll be easier to clean and take care of. You won't have to repair them as often. You won't, of course, need to buy multiples of everything. But if you invest in quality, then you'll spend less in the long run because you won't need to buy in quantity as things break down. Number 11 is having less stuff encourages gratitude. So a child that gets a huge pile of Christmas presents, a pile of birthday presents or whatever, doesn't appreciate each present they get. Sometimes they don't even know all the presents they got. While a child that gets one great present that they've always wanted really appreciates it. It's the same thing for adults. If you have a pile and pile of books that you never read, a pile of clothes that you never wear, you don't appreciate the things that you have. If you have a few really nice things that you really love, it encourages you to be grateful for the things that you do have. Number 12, and this goes with all of the other things, is you will have more time if you have less things. You do not even realize how much time it takes to take care of your belongings. Whether you have to wash them or repair them, sort them out, clean them, put them places, having so many things is so many things that you have to touch during the day and take time out of your day when you could be doing things that you really love, like reading or even watching TV or relaxing with a hot cocoa. You don't need to touch so many things during the day if you don't have them, and that just saves you time. Number 13, of course, is more freedom. Freedom is tied into time. Freedom is tied into not having to spend too much money. It's tied into the fact that you don't have to be there to take care of things. You can take off on a whim if you don't have things like houseplants or cars or things that you have to monitor or take care of or repair. Just having more time and more freedom in your life from the things that are tying you down in your home. Number 14 is owning less things and appreciating your things more is a great example for your children. So this one is easy, not much to say here, but setting a good example for your children and not having them tied to material things is a great reason to have less things. Number 15 is to start living in the present. If you are not tying yourself to sentimental things or books or stacks of things in your home or things that you have to clean, you can actually live in the present. And like I said, read a book or have some hot cocoa or spend time with your family because you're not spending on time on taking care of stuff. Number 16 is to stop comparing yourself to others. We obviously don't do it now as we're later in life, but when we were younger, of course, we always wanted to have the newest, greatest computer thing or the newest, greatest phone because we wanted to compete with others. Especially as teenagers, you want to compete with the other teenagers in your class and have the best and the brightest of everything. If you have less things and you're living a more minimalist lifestyle, you're not tempted to compete with others and just keep adding and adding to that burden of stuff. Number 17 is living a more minimalistic lifestyle enables you to give. So we acquire stuff whether we like it or not. It is hard to live a totally minimalistic lifestyle, especially if you're frugal, especially if, like me, you love to shop at thrift stores. It is hard to be completely untethered to things, and so we accumulate them throughout our lifetime. My husband and I actually have always done purges, though. We do purges at least once a month of our closet, of our cupboards, of different things. We gather them all up and we donate them to the local thrift store, and that thrift store actually contributes to our local pet shelter. So allowing yourself to give up things allows you to contribute to a cause that you care about. Number 18, and it's something we have been all thinking about lately, is the environment. Having less things and just buying less things creates less packaging and harm to the environment. So this is a quick and easy one. Not buying too many things contributes less to the harm of the environment. Number 19, getting to the end, and it's something I talked about a little bit down the road before, is living intentionally. If you decide to buy something specific and high quality and keep it and love it, you're intentionally owning an object. If you're just piling stuff into your life and into your home, you're living without intention. So being careful about what you buy and how you use it is living more intentionally, and it's more fulfilling to your soul and to your emotional well-being. Number 20 is just to be happier. Stuff is overwhelming. It's a visual distraction. It's expensive. It causes you time and wastes your life. So just own a few less things, give away a few things, purge your closet once a month, and you will be happier. So even if it's just a slight addition to your happiness, in 2020 we can all use any kind of happiness that we can get. So that's it. 20 reasons you should live with less things in your life. My battery's about to die, so subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will talk to you next time.